Hi, welcome to Situational Awareness. My name's Carl, and I'm here to help you navigate the upcoming training module. But first, we're going to go over some basics on how to move and interact in the virtual environment. If at any point you want to move on to the trainer, select the teleport point to my left, and we'll skip the tutorial. First, we're going to go over movement. Looking at the controllers, the one with the 3 blue rings on the touchpad is used for movement. Hold the touchpad to aim the teleporter. Aiming at a restricted area will show a red cursor, while aiming at a valid teleport point or area will glow blue. Go ahead and practice teleporting in the area behind you, and head back to the whiteboard when you're ready to continue. Great, that was the teleport area. Now we're going to take a look at specific targets that you can jump to called teleport points. Displayed here are the 3 states of a teleport point: enabled, which is blue; selected, which shows glowing when you highlight it with the teleporter; and disabled, a red X. Practice teleporting to the point behind you and teleport back to continue. Now that we've practiced teleporting, we should take a look at interacting with objects. To grab objects, use your index finger to pull the trigger on the underside of either of the controllers. Objects you can grab will highlight when you are close enough. Go ahead and close the door on your right. Well done! Now for something a little heavier. Dragging objects is just like pulling the door closed. Teleport to the file drawer behind you, and then drag the drawer until it is in the highlighted area next to it. Teleport back here when you're done. Alright, now let's go over communication. I won't always just pop in and tell you what to do. Sometimes I'll let you know that we need to talk with vibration, sound, and an icon on your controller. When that happens, you'll need to answer by pressing the touchpad with the phone icon. Let's give it a try. Hey, I'm down here, on your controller. You'll be moving around in the upcoming scenario, so I'll need to follow you by showing up on different devices. In emergency situations, you should avoid using handheld devices like cell phones and focus on getting to safety, so I'll avoid using this screen moving forward. Speaking of safety, one last thing. In emergency situations, while you want to keep your phone on, it is critical that you make sure it is silenced. Take a look again at the communications device. The button above the touchpad will silence it. You'll still get the icon and vibration, but the ring won't happen for the rest of the scenario. When you're ready, go ahead and press that button and we'll have completed the tutorial and move on to the training. Hi, Carl here. We're about to simulate an active shooter scenario. In situations like this, it can cause panic that can make anyone freeze. The 3 main responses you'll need to remember are to run, hide, and fight, all in that order. This simulation will address all 3. Let's start the scenario.
Hey, I need a break. Can we go get coffee? Meet me by the elevators.
In a real active shooter scenario, things can change in the blink of an eye with little time to react. For this simulation, we're going to freeze time so that you can focus on each potentially life-saving tip. For starters, since you're in an exposed area with clear visibility, the first thing you're going to want to do is shut the door and turn off the lights. This might buy you and your coworkers some time. Let's start with shutting the door. If you're having trouble, use the triggers to grab things like the door handles or items. Great. Let's turn off the lights by hitting the switch by the door. It may help divert attention from the room, and if the shooter does get in, we want to make it as hard as possible to target anyone. Alright, speaking of diverting attention, it looks like you still need to silence your communications device. You want to make sure all your mobile devices are silenced so that you won't draw attention to yourself. Make sure not to turn off your phone, though, as you may need to be in contact with emergency personnel. Silence the device now by pressing the mute button just above the phone button. Now, quietly, start barricading the door. We've marked a few items with reasons they would or would not be good options. That file cabinet near the door looks
You have an intruder
probably your
on
best
the
bet for
premises.
blocking it.
Please initiate emergency procedure.
Nice work. Since the door doesn't lock, and there's nothing to tie the handle to, blocking it with something heavy was probably your best bet. Now let's look around for what's the best way to get out of here. You're going to want to stay away from windows at this point. Pick a direction to exit.
Immediately and wait for further announcements. We have an intruder on the premises.
Your first instinct might be to run straight through the office, but this path doesn't provide cover if the shooter breaks through. Let's try taking the other path.
Please initiate emergency procedures immediately.
Good choice. This provides you with cover if the shooter breaks through the barricade. Now get moving.
Wait for further.
Alright, looking down this hallway, there's various items on the left. Some of it, like the desks, chairs, and computers, is soft cover, meaning it may conceal your location but won't slow down any bullets. What you want to focus on is hard cover, like the support columns made of concrete. Your goal is to sprint between hard cover, staying low and jumping from column to column as fast as you can. Make sure the columns are between you and where you expect the shooter to be.
We have an intruder on the premises. Please initiate emergency procedures immediately and wait for further announcements. We have an intruder on the premises. Please initiate.
Alright, let's get through this door and see if there's a way to shut it and block it.
Emergency procedures immediately and wait for further announcements. We have an intruder.
Nice, but the door closes towards you, so we can't really block it. Let's see if there's another way to keep it closed.
On the premises. Please initiate emergency procedures immediately and wait for further announcements. We have an intruder on the...
Great. Since there's nothing to tie the handle to, sticking the broom in it's probably your best option. Now let's move towards that hard cover. Take a look around and see what our options are. Looking around, it seems like there's a lot of options to hide. But our primary goal is to get out through a stairwell or a window if you're in a 1 or 2 story building. Never use the elevator in an active shooter scenario. Now, in one direction, it looks like there's a big open area. That's pretty much a danger zone, so let's avoid that. If we go in the other direction, it looks like maybe there's an exit. Follow the exit signs to get to the stairs.
Initiate emergency procedures immediately and wait for further announcements. We have an intruder on the premises.
Alright. Either the shooter's moved or there's a second shooter. We want to avoid going towards that exit, but that doesn't leave us very many options. It's time to find out where to hide. Take a look around and see what you can find. Looking around, there's a lot of offices. They seem like a good place to hide, but there's no way to lock those doors, and because they have windows on the sides, it'd be very easy for somebody to look through, shoot through, or even get through to that area. Let's take a look at the other side. It seems like there's a door there. That might be our best option.
Please initiate emergency procedures immediately and wait for further announcements. We have an intruder on the premises. Please initiate emergency procedures immediately and wait for further announcements. We have an intruder on the premises.
Alright, we blocked the door with something heavy. Unfortunately, there wasn't a way to lock the door. If there wasn't something heavy around, another option is to lie on the ground with your feet against the door. It's not the safest option, but it would hold the door shut while keeping you out of the line of fire if somebody shoots through it. Now, our priority is to move away from the door to a safe place. Call the police, giving them as much information as possible, and wait for them to arrive. Now that we're safe, let's go through some basics while we wait for help to arrive. When it comes to hiding, consider the best hiding places in your workplace, and imagine how you would use them in an emergency. Know where there are equipment and items that you can use to lock down your hiding place, such as furniture, cords, rope, or heavy items. Also, consider doors, which way they open, and if they can be locked or jammed shut easily. During a lockdown or when hiding, stay low and even crawl to move. The shooter could fire into possible hiding places or locked rooms and will normally aim or fire at body height. Consider that if a shooter gains entry into your hiding place or locked down area, that you will probably have to fight to survive. Use any materials such as books and furniture to fortify your hiding place from gunfire. And finally, in a hiding place, try and find alternative escape routes, like a secondary door or window, to avoid being trapped.
Hey, there's somebody inside here. This is Officer McLean with the police department. I know you're probably afraid, but everything's fine out here, so go ahead and unbarricade the door and come on out.
Wait! Don't open the door. While the person out there sounds friendly, attackers often try to lure people out by calling them by name or acting friendly or even acting like police. Stay wherever you're at. Wait. The police will break down the door whenever they get to you.
This is the Sheriff's Department. The situation has been contained and we are coming in. Stand away from the door with your hands in the air.
Great. The police are here, and you're safe. While hiding, you want to be prepared to fight if attackers gain entry. But once the police arrive, discard any improvised weapons, and keep your hands up until they guide you to safety. This scenario is now complete. Think through what you've experienced. Consider how these situations would play out in the places that you frequently visit. In places both familiar and new, remember to be vigilant, take a moment to find your exits, and be prepared to run, hide, and then fight if the need arises.